Hey everybody, welcome to another Wacky Wednesday draft. Just a couple quick housekeeping things. Firstly, this weekend was the Magic Online Community Cup. I definitely recommend going and checking out the replays of that on Twitch. They actually did a Wacky Stipulation draft where everybody in the draft had to draft according to a stipulation that they were given, and that's definitely one of the main inspirations for this Wacky Wednesday series, along with Loading Ready Run, of course. They were great videos, really fun stipulations. People you probably know, like Day 9 and Paul Cheon, were playing against Wizards R&D people or online personalities like that within Magic Online, like Ryan Spain. So definitely check that out. Another quick note, I might be moving the Wacky Wednesday stipulation drafts to an every other week format. Despite our success in last week's tournament, I'm not terribly confident in the overall success, prize-wise at least, of the Wacky Wednesday series. But much more importantly than that, I'm a little bit nervous about how it will work with Khans of Tarkir draft. I have a feeling Khans might be similar to full Return to Ravnica block, or kind of like Avacyn Restored draft almost, where every single draft pick really desperately matters. And so I have a feeling that doing a stipulation with Khans of Tarkir might be just completely miserable, which I wouldn't want to subject myself or you to watching. So I'll give that a try when Khans comes out, but we may move this to an every other week schedule. There still will be a Wednesday video. It might just be something different, like way back Wednesday, where I do a flashback draft, or possibly still Wacky Wednesday, but where I play something like Momir Vig or something like that, that's a little bit more silly and fun and less competitive. So anyways, on to today's Wacky Wednesday stipulation draft. The stipulation that has been picked is it a deck yet? So you're probably familiar with Izzet. Izzet is the blue-red guild that lives on the plane of Ravnica, and they're known as being sort of the inventors and experimenters and sort of off-kilter scientists. One of the main mechanics of Izzet cards is that they are typically instants or sorceries, and they're often pretty strange ones, often a lot of randomness or really big things happening that might blow up in their face. And so this stipulation says that if there is an instant or sorcery in the pack, I must draft it. So kind of an interesting thing here. You typically want a lot of creatures in a draft deck. You don't want a lot of instants and sorceries, and you want those ones to be pretty good. So with M15, I'm not quite sure what's going to go on here. I foresee a couple of possibilities. I could take all of the removal that I can possibly find. I could even stretch into a third color and maybe have all the black removal and all the red removal, and maybe all the white removal. Another thing is that I'm going to need to make sure that my creature picks count. So as long as there's a not an instant or sorcery, I need to make sure that I pick a creature that I'm going to play. On that same line of thought, the white cards have a lot of instants and sorceries that actually make creature tokens. So I think they're going to be pretty highly valued. A really offbeat way out there possibility is that I go the mill deck. I draft every single Mind Sculpt that I see, because Mind Sculpt is a sorcery. And then I just draft removal and control from there. Probably not the best idea, probably not the most successful idea, but I may go for it if I see it. But we're going to jump into a queue, and I will see you when it's ready to go. Alright, hey everybody, here we are, ready to start drafting Is It a Deck Yet? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can draft by type, so I'm going to have to go through these. We have a Plummet, we have a Crowd's Favor, a Shrapnel Blast, and an In Garrick's Wake. In Garrick's Wake is a possibility if I can actually live that long, to be able to destroy all creatures, and I probably won't have many creatures. Or actually, this destroys all you don't control. It may be an option. It's also very likely to come back around. So otherwise, I'm looking at Crowd's Favor. If I can get any creature in, this will help it live. Or I have a possibility of Shrapnel Blast just being a bit of removal or just damage to the face if I can get an artifact. I think this might be my best option here, is taking this and hoping that I get an artifact in some pack that does not have instants or sorceries. On the way back, there will at most be only 3 instants and sorceries in this pack, so I might get something else. Not an artifact, of course, but we can always hope. So we'll take that, starting off on kind of the draft all the removal plan. So let's see, this pack, we've got that artifact, but we've got removal, we have pseudo removal, but not terribly large one, and we have a triplicate spirits. I think I desperately need to take that triplicate spirits. I need creatures. Without creatures, I'm not sure how I would possibly win. The ulcerate is a very good option. I would hope to see it back around, but I highly doubt it. Coming back around, I would expect to see probably this Statute of Denial, if there's anything left. Creature-wise, obviously I'm going to be happy to pick up basically any creature I can, but this Triplicate Spirits is going to be jammed into my deck right now. Not on the blue-red Izzet plan, but it's on the not doing terribly plan. So let's see, we've got a Naturalize, a Pillar, there's the Mind Sculpt. I talked about doing the Mill plan, but the Pillar of Light's probably a better option here. It's white, which goes with the Triplicate Spirits. It's basically removal, or at least removal against anything big, and I don't really actually want to go with the Mind Sculpt plan. It was just something I was tossing around. But Pillar of Light will be the pick here. Odds are I will get that Mind Sculpt back on the way back around, but hopefully I'm far out of that possibility by the time this pack comes back around. Let's see, we've got a Plummet, and that's it. No, we have a Jace's Ingenuity as well. Jace's Ingenuity a lot better than Plummet, of course. And if I do go slightly control-y, being able to draw more cards would be fantastic. So we'll take this Jace's Ingenuity. Let's see, we've got a Chain Veil, which is unfortunately not worth very much, so I wouldn't take it. It doesn't break my expensive rare drafting rule. So we have Appeal from Reality, and we have a Sign in Blood. I'm probably not going to have many creatures, and the ones that I am going to have are going to be tokens, so I'm not going to want to be bouncing those back to my hand. So I think Sign in Blood is just the pick here. I wouldn't mind being black-white. So if I do get more black, especially removal, that would be great. But we'll take that over Appeal from Reality for sure. Alright, we've got an Endless Obedience, which, as I was corrected, I believe in a previous video I accidentally said that this brings something back from your graveyard. It's actually a graveyard, which makes it not terrible for our deck. We're not going to have many creatures, so if I can take one of their creatures, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, we have an Ephemeral Shields and a Solemn Offering. Both go in my white deck. Ephemeral Shields is main deckable. Solemn Offering is obviously a sideboard card. But I think I'll take the Endless Obedience here. It's an uncommon. I'm not going to likely see quite as many of those as I will the shields, so I will take that. Alright, looks like we have a Peel and a Restock. As I said, I don't really want the Peel. I don't want to be bouncing my creatures. I doubt I'm going to have many that are real. Even if I get one off Endless Obedience, if I bounce it, it's going to go back to their hand. So I guess I'll just take the Restock here in case I happen to go green. Green, however, of course, not really known for having instants and sorceries. Outside of combat tricks, of course. So I said that, and then there's a Feral Invocation, or sorry, Incarnation. Feral Invocation is an aura from Theros. So that makes creatures, and it is green, so that's a possibility. We have another Shrapnel Blast. I'm really not sure about my likelihood of getting an artifact in a pack that doesn't have any instants or sorceries left. There's also a Mind Rot. Card control, or hand sort of discard control, is actually an option for this sort of stipulation. Being able to knock cards out of their hand may be good. I think I might take it. It goes with my two other black picks. Feral Incarnation is just really expensive, and I'm not going to have too many creatures to power it out. So let's see, we have a Crowd's Favor and a Plummet and another Restock. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up going green, so I don't really want to take another Restock. I don't know if I would want two Restocks anyways. So Crowd's Favor and Plummet are kind of the options here. I don't really know if I'm going to end up in either of those colors, but I'll take the Crowd's Favor. If I do end up three colors, it's probably going to help me the most. It's going to help me keep these Triplicate Spirits alive, so I will take Crowd's Favor. So we have a Plummet and a Statute of Denial. So Statute of Denial is control-y, which would help me. Plummet, I really don't know about the green plan. I already have a blue card. It's a pretty good blue card. It's a double blue, but I think it's just better than Plummet here, so we will take it. So there's the Mind Sculpt back, as I said. Unfortunately, that would be only one Mind Sculpt from this entire round of drafting. I would hope to see a lot more of these in Pack 2 and Pack 3 if this was even a slight possibility. I will take it over the Naturalize, though, because I'm really trying to not go green. Right, we get to pick something that's not an instant or sorcery. So we've got Mana Fixing, we've got a really terrible creature or an aura that's going to go on our non-existent creatures. I honestly think I might just take the Mana Fixing here. The 1/1's not going to get me through anything. So we have a much better creature here. A 1/3 is a nice blocker, and being able to loot in my very instant and sorcery heavy deck might be pretty good. So we might actually take that. It's probably better than the Wall of Fire, even though the Wall of Fire does defend. It is double red. Solemn Offering, that works pretty well on the sideboard, and Forest. So, not really sure where we're going. We've got Triplicate Spirits. I hope to get maybe a Sanctified Charge or something to go with it, just to make them a little bit more lethal. So we've got a Dissipate, a Gather Courage, a Chrono Stutter, a Flesh to Dust, Pillar of Light. So Dissipate would be good if we do go blue, having more control. I do like the completely non-conditional removal of Flesh to Dust. I think that might be the pick here. I don't think that Dissipate will make it back around to me. Somebody will take the Juggernaut, the Forged Devil. Yeah, there's no way that Dissipate's going to come back around to me. But I think I'd want to take the Flesh to Dust here. I'm not 100% certain if that's the right pick here. I've got an Endless Obedience and a Sign in Blood. For blue, I do have an Ingenuity, a Statute of Denial, a Research Assistant. You know what? I think I might have convinced myself. I think having the hard counter might be a better option here. Let's see, we've got a Solemn Offering, Titanic Growth, Divination, Turn to Frog, Mind Rot. So Turn to Frog is a removal-ish spell if you have something to help you remove that creature. I don't. So I think a Divination here, just more card draw, might be a better option. We've got an Act on Impulse, and that's it. Yes, that is it. So we're taking Act on Impulse. So we're going to get a creature back, hopefully, in this pack, unless we get the Verdant Haven back. So that'll be nice. I hope I get maybe the Wall of Limbs to hold off creatures a little bit. Welcome Turn would be nice just to get an attacker, but I'm sure somebody will take that, as well as the Swift Claw. But we have to take the Act on Impulse here. We've got a Life's Legacy, a Hunter's Ambush, and a Negate. Negate fits in my deck. It's a counter. It counters any non-creature spell that they try to play, and it's much more likely to be played than either of these green ones, so I think we just take it. Let's see, we've got Crowd's Favor, and that's it. Pretty instant and sorcery light packs these are, so we'll take that Crowd's Favor. Really don't think I'm going to end up red here. It's looking like I'm going to be blue, white, and maybe splashing black. Alright, we've got a Fester Gloom, a Lava Axe, a Hydra Surge, a Naturalize. I think I'll take the Fester Gloom here. It really hurts my Triplicate Spirits, but it is removal. It is one of the colors I'm going to be playing. I don't like Hydra Surge. It's basically a waste of a card, especially when I'm not going to be having many creatures to hopefully blow out in combat. So yeah, we'll take the Fester Gloom. Ephemeral Shields is a pick that I'm perfectly happy taking. Keeps my creatures alive. Alright, we've got a Blastfire Bolt, a Divination, and Ephemeral Shields. I already have one Divination and I already have one Ephemeral Shields. I don't want the Blastfire Bolt. I'm not going to be going red, I don't think. It is removal, but I just don't think I'm going to go that route. A second Divination could be good. I don't know if I'm going to have enough creatures to really need too many Ephemeral Shields, so I think I might just take a second Divination here. And there's the second Ephemeral Shields I was talking about. Chrono Stutter, it's an okay tempo play, but I'm not a tempo deck. I'm going to be a controlling, hopefully get them down to 0 cards in hand and no board presence, and then just ping away with Triplicate Spirits. So we're going to take an Ephemeral Shields here. So we've got a Mind Rot, or a Solemn Offering. I already have one Solemn Offering, so I'll take the Mind Rot here. As I said, hand discard might actually be okay here. I need to take away as many resources as I can from them with this deck. So we'll take that Mind Rot. So our win condition is currently Triplicate Spirits, maybe Mono Research Assistant Beatdown, or Endless Obedience, something of theirs. So here's that creature pack back, so I do get to take something, and I think it's going to be the Wall of Limbs. 1/1 for 1 is not what I want to take, and I don't really want a 3/1 that mills myself. Tireless Missionaries actually might be a better choice. I'm not going to be gaining life, so that's not going to help that. So this is a 2/3 instead of an 0/3. It's a bit more expensive. It does give me 3 life, which may help a little bit. Here we have to take the Hunter's Ambush. So here we have a 1/1 for 1, or we have at the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent lost life, that's not going to happen. So I will take this 1/1 for 1. Chump Blocker buys me time. Hydra Surge, not going to be played, and a Forest. So it's looking like blue, white, black is what we're going to end up being. Yeah, no win condition. Or at least yet, who knows what Pack 3 might have. Pack 3 has many cards I would love to have. Cone of Flame would have been an amazing card to take earlier. I'm really not going to end up in red, so I don't think I'll take it, because there is a Raise the Alarm here. Raise the Alarm is creatures, and I desperately need those creatures. Other than that, we also have a Plummet, and I think that's it. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to get a creature back in this pack as well. Hopefully that Nimbus of the Isles. That would be quite nice. Yeah, somebody's going to be pretty surprised with me passing Cone of Flame and Ob Nixilis. I'm sure they must be thinking that I'm drafting a foil rare or something. But we'll take this Raise the Alarm. Let's see, we've got a Blast Firebolt to clear the path and naturalize, a Hydra Surge, and a Flesh to Dust. So this makes up for that Flesh to Dust that I passed earlier in favor of that Dissipate. I'm definitely going to take this one. It's much better than any of my other options here. Let's see, we have Void Snare, and an On Make the Graves, and a Solemn Offering. So on Make the Graves, I'm not going to be returning creature cards from my graveyard. I don't really want my Fugitive Wizard back, or my Research Assistant, so I guess I'll just take the Void Snare. It's not a great card, but it's the card we're going to take. We have another Mind Rot and a Titanic Growth, so we will take another Mind Rot. So here we have... Ooh. Oh no, we do have a sorcery. I was hoping we could take that Grind Clock and just be super control-y grind clocky. But here we have to take the Hunt the Weak. Alright, we have a Back to Nature, we have a Shrapnel Blast, a Crowd's Favor, a Hunter's Ambush, a Meditation Puzzle, a Crowd's Favor. Well, we're not going to be red, so I don't want to take either of those. We're not going to be green, so it's Chrono Stutter or Meditation Puzzle. I would never recommend taking Meditation Puzzle, but 8 life might keep me alive. Let's see. This one's 6 mana, this one's 5 mana. So this one comes down a turn later. It's infinitely better than Meditation Puzzle. You know what? I think I'll take it. Maybe they'll have really powerful token creatures that I want to get rid of. So we will take the Chrono Stutter. You just definitely don't want to be playing Meditation Puzzle, even in a strange deck like this. So we have a Lava Axe or a Mind Sculpt or a Statute of Denial. I could take a second Mind Sculpt. I would prefer to have 5 at least to really be a Mind Sculpt deck. I could be Statute of Denial, just have another hard counter. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Of course, I'm going to kick myself if the next, 3 packs are Mind Sculpt, Mind Sculpt, Mind Sculpt. So I've got removal. I've got Pillar of Light, Flesh to Dust. I can actually use Void Snare to bounce something and hold back my Dissipate or a Statute. So we'll see how this goes. We have another Pillar of Light. I will gladly take that. So here's that pack back where I was hoping to get not an instant or sorcery, but there is a plummet. So we are going to take that. My totals here say that I have drafted 3 creatures after 36, 37, 38, 39 picks. 3 creatures, 39 picks. That's how you're supposed to draft, right? Of course, it's not counting my triplicate spirits or my raise the alarm, so it's actually 5 creatures in 39 picks. So we've got Blast Firebolt, Hydra Surge, Clear Path. I'll take Blast Firebolt. Maybe I have to go 4 colors and splash in some red, but I don't think that's going to happen. Let's actually start building the deck here a little bit. That's not going to be played, that's not going to be played. That's out, that's out, that's out. That'll go back in. That's out, that's out. That's out, that's out. So we have, and I'll make the graves that we have to take. Let's take that out. Ooh, we get a Soulmender. It's not good, but it's a creature, and maybe I can gain life and delay the inevitable. Alright, so we've got 28 cards. We need to take a few more out. Zoffshade is great. That's a nice pickup to see. And a Necromancer's Assistant. So a couple of on-color creatures there at the end, so that was okay to see. So let's see, we're going to take the Chrono Stutter out. Actually, let's take that Mind Sculpt out. 1 Mind Sculpt is nothing. Let's take out the Fugitive Wizard. I don't like having that in there. I think we'll take out another Pillar of Light as well. Solemn Offering is out, of course. I don't really like this Necromancer's Assistant. It is a creature, but... well, let's think about it. Let's take out one of the Mind Rots. 1 is alright, 2 is pushing it, 3 is far too many. I thought I took that Chrono Stutter out. Let's take that out. So I've got 1 more card to cut here. Void Snare is in. It helps me set up a next turn counter with Dissipate or a Statute, or just buys me a turn. Soulmender's in. Maybe cut one of these Ephemeral Shields. I don't have that many creatures. I don't want to be stuck with these in hand. So that might go out. Raise the Alarm is in, Negate is in, Research Assistant is in, Sign of Blood is in, Pillar is in, 2 Divinations are in. Maybe Fester Gloom gets the cut. It does kill my Soulmender, my Triplicate Spirits, my Raise the Alarm Soldiers. So I think that might actually be the card that I cut. Yeah, let's cut that card. So here's my deck, 5 creatures, 2 spells that make creatures, and then a whole bunch of instants and sorceries. Is it a deck yet? Well, technically, I guess it is a deck. Is it a deck that's going to do well? Who knows? Let's add some lands here. 5/7/5. Looks about right. I've got a lot of double blue. My double black is on the higher end, except for Sign of Blood, of course. Only 1 double white with the Triplicate Spirits. So yeah, that sounds about right. Let's add that to the deck, and I think that's what we're going to submit. So in the sideboard, we do have a second Pillar of Light if they do have a lot of big creatures. We have a Solemn Offering if they have artifacts or enchantments that I need to deal with. Fester Gloom if I'm up against maybe the mirror match of Triplicate Spirits. On Make the Graves is never going to be in. Mind Rot's never going to be in. I already have 2. Chrono Stutter could be in if I need to play some sort of tempo game, or if maybe they have really obnoxious tokens. I'm not sure offhand what those tokens would be. Mind Sculpt is not going to come in. It would have been nice if we lived the dream and got 5 or 6 Mind Sculpts to play. Hydra Surge will not be in. Fugitive Wizard will not be in. So this is basically our sideboard here, these 4 cards. Quick look at the red cards. Shrapnel Blast is out. I don't have an artifact. Blast Firebolt's too expensive. So no, we're not going to be splashing red, nor are we going to be splashing green. I wanted to put that Evolving Wilds in. Let me take out an island and put it in Evolving Wilds. The Evolving Wilds is an extra island, but it's also an extra plains or swamp, basically, or at least half of one, because it does come into play tapped. So that's the deck. We're going to submit that, and then I will see you back for round one, and we'll see how this goes.